Welcome back to our Lloyd Sports podcast. It's the first officials podcast in quite a while, so we thought we'd start off. We continue where we left off and get a really good guest in. So we've got Nathan Sherratt with us tonight from the Third Team. Nathan, how you doing, mate?
Really good, thanks, Harley. Thanks for having me. Really appreciate you inviting me on.
No, fantastic. And obviously, I've seen the fantastic work the Third Team have done, so I was really eager to get you involved. Obviously, before we get to the Third Team, I'll let you sort of introduce yourself and sort of tell us a little bit about you as well as a referee.
Yeah, so thanks very much. I'm Nathan Sherratt. I'm the managing director of the Third Team. I'm also a resilience trainer and mental toughness practitioner. And basically, what I do with the Third Team is we work with referees on all aspects of sort of mental performance recovery, and obviously help them build resilience and mental toughness as well, which are skills that we look to develop with our clients through workshops and one-to-one work. And obviously, as you can see in the picture there, I am an active referee as well, and I'm operating in the Northeast on Supply League and things like that on a Saturday, and obviously doing things like women's football and academy type football the rest of the time as well. So I enjoy an active refereeing career as well as obviously working with colleagues on trying to help them improve the sort of mental side of the game.
No, that's brilliant. Obviously, before we do dive into the Third Team, can I ask a little bit about your own career? Obviously, sort of what got you into refereeing and what level do you operate at now? I know you do Supply League, so is that step 3 and 4 of the non-league system, or 5 and 6?
It's 5 and 6. Yeah, it's 5 and 6, isn't it? So
Cool.
yeah, so I do that. Yeah, I what actually allowed me to start refereeing was the fact that I became, I think like many do, I sort of reached the middle part of my teenage years, coming up to sort of GCSEs and things like that. And, I want to get a bit of pocket money and things, as you do. And some people like to work in shops and things like that. My brother worked in a shop. But for me, I wanted to do something where I could control my own time and still have that enjoyment and that involvement. And I wasn't very good at playing football. I hadn't had any involvement in football since I'd been about 10 or 11 because I just hadn't enjoyed playing because I wasn't very able to play the game, and I was keen to come back into it. And an opportunity just came up with a friend of mine, said, look, do you want to do this referees course? And I was like, yeah, you know what, I'd actually really like to get involved. And his dad was on the National League at one time as a referee. And so he was my mentor when I first qualified, and that was probably 8 seasons ago. I think I'm just coming into my 8th season now. So yeah, it was really good to get involved in that and pick up those skills and things like that, and then to get a bit of money. And so I was doing that obviously as a younger referee with no real ambition to go any higher up, just wanting to enjoy refereeing matches. And then just the opportunity came up to really start progressing. Once I'd sort of come back from uni, I really started to take it a lot more seriously, work with a lot more colleagues and learn from people, engross myself in groups like referees association groups, and was lucky to be a part of the core group for a time as well, and things like that. So just got more and more involved and started more about how to referee well by engaging and surrounding myself with more experienced and probably better able colleagues.
That's fantastic. It sounds like you've had a very colourful career. You obviously you had lots of good opportunities, and you're now sort of using your experiences to benefit other referees, which is obviously fantastic to sort of see. So obviously, I'll sort of let you crack on. Sort of obviously the Third Team. Tell me everything I need to know about the Third Team.
Yeah, well, I think there's a lot to know about it, but I think that if you talk about my career, something that happened within my career, one of my games was really the catalyst for me starting it, because I was refereeing in late 2018, and I was doing a youth game actually, and the team that I was refereeing was one of the teams was winning 9-1, and so it wasn't even a close game. There was only about 10 minutes to go, and I got blocked but heard a shout, and when I became unblocked, I saw sort of two players head to head, and at the time when I saw them head to head, I thought it was going to be a bit of a push and shoving, but actually the player from the winning team headbutted his opponent, and then he followed it up with a sort of left hook, so that as the victim, if you like, was recoiling. So for me, I was really shocked because I saw him having a fit before he hit the ground. And obviously I then had a decision to make. I was on my own. I wasn't working with neutral assistance, so I need any assistance only. And I had to look to, what do I do? Do I go towards the injured player, or do I go towards the perpetrator? And all the parents, spectators had actually come onto the field of play to offer assistance to the victim. And so I decided to go towards the perpetrator and issue discipline and to get him out in the immediate area, because I'm on my own and you've got 22 players and you've got all the parent spectators that come with them. You don't want to see a mass brawl with that many people, just you in charge. So I got rid of him and got rid of them and got them out in the immediate area. An ambulance came and took that player to hospital and actually sped up the police for me, which was great. The police came and did forensic work, and then I went to the police station and basically did the equivalent of what our match report would be. And then the next day came and I was at work and I was having really intrusive thoughts and flashbacks, which was incredibly unusual. You know, I think I've been refereeing for probably 3 or 4 years at that time, and I wasn't used to that kind of thing. It took me by surprise a lot that I would ever feel that way about something that happened on a football pitch, and it made me really aware of the mental impact that things can have on referees, and that's why I talk about abuse in the reasons why I do things, and that's why I always try to look at the diversity of referees as well, which I think is really important. The statistics that you've got on the screen that people can see now are from the beginning of this year from the FA, and I think for it is definitely for the first time ever we know the specific number of female officials, and we know the percentage of BAME officials amongst this group of 27,451 referees. So that's why I'm really interested in that. I'm really interested in the retention. It's a big part of what we do for our clients, particularly at the county FAs, is to help them with their referee retention by providing their referees with specific tools that we have the expertise to deliver. And hopefully it makes a really good impact for the referees, and it helps them a lot with trying to get back on board maybe referees who mentally were not feeling that they wanted to be referees any longer, but they've now been equipped with tools from ourselves, and coupled with the support from the county FA to be the best that they can be, and to progress as referees.
No, it's really insightful and interesting, almost somewhat emotional to hear that obviously you experienced that, but also sort of trying to sort of put a bit of a positive spin on the situation. Obviously you experienced what I imagine wasn't a very nice experience, but you sort of used that to work with officials moving forward and offer positive responses and, well, better practices almost. It's fantastic to sort of hear your background and sort of your why. If you understand what I mean.
Yeah. No, thank you. It's something that I'm really glad I managed to turn it into a positive. And it's something I really, really enjoy doing. And I feel very lucky that, I kind of fell into doing this. And, people talk about, things happen for a reason and so on. And I'm kind of glad that, because I have to add as a caveat, the player, he actually spent some time in hospital, a few days in hospital, brain scans and things, but he was completely fine. And then obviously criminal proceedings took place with the other player. But what happens for me out of that is a positive, because whilst I didn't get the support that I needed, which is something I'm really passionate about now, that was not through anybody's fault. That was just circumstances really conspiring against me, and it was misfortune. And now that's why I'm really passionate in the work that I do with the third team, that I open up as many opportunities to help referees seek support, show them the direction that they need to be in to reach out and get that support, so that they can always have one or two fallback options if one support vehicle or method isn't available. So I think that that's really, really important for what we're obviously looking to do with the referees as well. If we're not supporting them, we need to make sure that the the Referees Association, if they're a member there, is supporting them. If it's not the RDO, if there's not something like Ref Supports Hotline, which is a really good one, trying to get as many opportunities. The FA are now running with the mental health champions, who are another great group of people to reach out to, and most of the counties, I believe, now have got a champion. So things like that are really, really good and really important. And so it's trying to do things like that to try and open these things up, which is, I think, really, really important. But yeah, I'm absolutely glad we did it. And it's been one of the best decisions I've made for sure.
No, fantastic. Obviously, sort of looking what's on the screen now. So, how does the third team? How do you? I know obviously you've spoken in great detail about obviously your story and your background, and so how can you help? Obviously, me being a referee, how can you help me? What can you do for me as a referee, or for any referee indeed?
Well, when I work with referees on a one-to-one basis, I'm looking to establish what are the challenges that they're facing. Do they feel like they're not being supported? Are they, for example, struggling to sleep before the night before a game? Are they having difficulty with clarity of judgment when it comes to the key match incidents, penalty kicks, red cards, serious foul play, violent conduct, all these things? And that's the way that we work with them, and we really look at them on an individual level, and try to help them over a series of sessions, and we look to establish how they're feeling. I'll use various different methods and techniques to show them the way that we can help them. And then with the workshops, which we're doing more predominantly for groups of referees, and we're being brought in by Referees Association branches, or we're being brought in by county football associations, or even national football associations. We will look at what the managers, so the referee development manager, the referee development officer, whether it's the secretary, the chairman, whoever it might be, is looking at what will best give the group value. What is something that they've noticed is maybe a blind spot or a weak spot for the referees that they could do with that little bit topping up on. We do that with them, and we look at that, and yeah, just try to give as many tips and things, and we give them little takeaways. We have takeaway sheets. We have with links to podcasts on. We have links to worksheets that they can follow to make certain things a little bit easier to do. And we have links to websites and things like that as well. So yeah, we try to give them some stuff to take away and sample various different bits of different ideas and techniques that they might want to be able to use. But then obviously with the one-to-one, we can go a lot more in depth on what specific issues are for the individual referee.
No, that's really interesting. Obviously, sort of looking at this plan A that you've sort of got here, can you tell me a little bit about what plan A is, and to you and to the third team?
What plan A really was about, and you'll see this in the next picture as well when we look at that, was about, as I've touched on as well there, working with the county FAs, working with the Referees Association branches. Just looking at those things is really, really important. I think, what are the individual needs of the referees in individual areas? I think there's different challenges in different parts of the country. And what I will say is, every group of referees in each county is supported in a slightly different way. Yeah. Now, I know yourself, Harley, you are working with Birmingham, who are obviously under the stewardship of Kieran Forrest, who's a great RDO, but you're also a referee in Worcestershire and Herefordshire under Ollie, who is again a wonderful RDO, but they will have different styles in the way that they manage their referees. And it's about understanding those styles and complementing them with a good workshop that works really well with them. So that's how we're looking at it. We looking to build a relationship with the referees in the county. We're looking to build a relationship with the management of the referees in the county, and looking to best meet their needs to help them be supported and get the strength that they need to get. So we've got some really good relationships with various members of counties that you can see on the screen there. and with the referees association branches as well, we know obviously what the areas are like, what the referees are like, the branches and things like that. And the RA is an absolutely wonderful support mechanism for referees, because things can go wrong, and people need support to be there when they do. Unfortunately, it's the nature of us being human beings and football being the way football is.
Obviously, so I know obviously you mentioned about your workshops. Obviously, we've got an image of yourself here delivering a workshop. Can you obviously tell me if I attended a workshop, what can I sort of expect from Nathan Sherratt and from the third team?
Yeah, so what you'll see is here is this is a good example of one that we did face to face, and we're doing more now face to face in the next few weeks, because we now have that ability with the change of things in the pandemic sense, which is something we're really looking forward to, because I think when we have the face to face workshops, we're in a room like you can see on the screen here now. The door's shut. We're all referees in there, and everything that says for the good of the group. And there's a lot more candidness, a lot more honesty, and that allows us to be a little bit stronger, I think, as referees, because what you will get in a room there is you'll get somebody who'll say something, and somebody who might have not said something, maybe sitting there and listening, thinking, actually, I feel the same way about that, and or maybe I struggle with that, and it really opens them up. And what we have is various different tools. We'll use things like post-it notes and things like that, which means that ideas that people have who may not have the confidence to speak in front of the group don't get forgotten, because they're still using post-it notes and things to put them on the board or whatever it might be, to get people in. So those are the probably the best sessions. But what we've done online, which has been really good, is being able to reach more people, and I've had a lot more guests on those ones, where people have come from all over the world to certain county FAs and things like that. Have invited them, and it's brought more people together. So there's pros and cons to all of them, but I think online it's been really good as well over the last 12 months.
No, that's brilliant. I mean, obviously, takeaway plan A. What about plan B?
When we talk about plan B is another sort of a bonus, I think, from the pandemic that we've spoken about. Is I've had opportunities to work in the US, in Canada, in Australia, and build relationships with many people there, and many organizations that work with referees in those countries as well. And of course, plan B being the online sessions, as I touched on just before, that again, as I say, it opens up the world to us. And things like the travel and those aspects. I think when you're a young company and a young business like I am, we're only in our third year of trading now. It can be sometimes a little bit more difficult to travel the world and do this stuff. But actually, what the pandemic's allowed is this plan B to open up, and for us to establish ourselves in these territories, so that there is now a possibility we can go in the next couple of financial years, business years, whatever you want to call it, into these territories and deliver face to face and work with the referees as part of things like pre-season training camps, and development weekends and things like that. So we were in a really good place, actually, thanks to the plan B option opening up due to the pandemic. So it's not all been bad.
No, it's fantastic that you're able to grow during what is a very tough time for many businesses. So this, this is a photo of I'm presuming one of your online delivery sessions that you've been able to sort of deliver. I mean, I noticed this one, Surrey FA, I'm assuming with multiple FAs.
It is. We have. We've done one with multiple FAs, as you quite rightly say. This one was with Surrey, and this is just an example, really, that I use of what it looks like when it's on the screen, and just to give people a picture of where we're at with these things. So we do the delivery online through Teams when we're working with the FA more often than not.
Yeah.
But what that's also allowed me to do is be working with panels. I've had people like Stuart Atwell, Harry Leonard, and a number of the other guys that are on the PGMOL to be there on the same sessions that I've been a part of, which has been a wonderful thing. And also to work with some of the great developers that we've got, people like Farai Halam and Daniel Meeson, who work at the FA as well, who are doing a great job in bringing through the next generation of match officials in this country as well. So it's really been a great pleasure to be a part of lineups that involve some of the great educators in refereeing and some of the guys who are real role models in the game at the moment.
That's amazing. Obviously, the increased visibility. What does that sort of mean as such? Obviously, the Third Team blog, social media.
Yeah, we're recording this obviously on Wednesday, the 4th of August, and on Friday, the 6th, we're going to be launching the 100th Third Team blog, which has been something that's grown exponentially since we launched the first one on the Friday, the 6th of September 2019. And we've produced one every week since for the last, this is the 100th week now. So
amazing.
We're absolutely delighted. We've got wonderful support. We've had wonderful support throughout. I have to say many thanks to the first sponsor we had, which was Ref Live in Australia. Great support from Simon Murphy there. He's a wonderful guy for us, and we're still in with a really good relationship with them, although we've moved on to a different sponsor now. We're with, obviously, I'm sure you know, in fact, I know that you know Harley, Ben Williamson from Yes Ref, who's a wonderful
Ben was one of our
supporter.
Guests, but he was a fantastic guest, he was. And Yes Ref's a very good, innovative idea as well that we spoke about. Yeah,
so obviously I would urge guys that after you've listened to this one, that you maybe go and listen to the one with Ben, because they have a wonderful product. They've just launched a new app in the last week. They're doing phenomenally well, and we're really proud to have them as sponsors of the blog. And we're really looking forward to a very special 100th edition coming up this Friday as well, which I'm really, really excited about. So, I'd love people to go to the website and sign up to the mailing list to get that every week to their inbox at 5:00. But also, really hope that it comes out at 5:00 by design. And I really hope that on a Friday, I should say, and I really hope that it does exactly what it's designed to do, which is give referees something to think about going into their weekend game that they can perhaps apply into their game or add to their preparation to make them that little bit better, maybe when they get out there and improve as a referee. So that's what we're really, really hoping for. But with increased visibility, not just with the blog, but with all the social media that we've got. We've got probably about 6,000 followers across our multiple platforms, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and always welcome more. So if there's any listeners that are not following us, you know where you can find us. And really, really find that a great way to engage with those who are obviously involved in refereeing, not just from being an active referee, but also observers, referee coaches, things like that. We've had wonderful feedback from a number of people like that, and always giving tips and things out like that as well on the social media to try and help referees to just have little tidbits that they can take away with them to help them. Nothing too complex, just good little ideas that you can quite easily apply and slot into your refereeing style.
Fantastic. Obviously, I know you've collaborated with lots of people. I know we mentioned Yes Ref. Obviously, I've seen your the Final Whistle podcast. So what else is out there that the Third Team are involved in?
Yeah, so we're really, really proud that we've done the Final Whistle. We've got one more episode coming up, and then I think we are going to not be doing too many more episodes of that, but hopefully it will come back at some point in the future. I don't know what the future is for the Final Whistle. I know there's one more episode to come. I hope that one day we'll be able to make some more, because I really love Martin Cassidy and Ant Canavan as human beings. They're really, really great people. They've become firm friends, and we've really, really enjoyed each other's company when we've been doing this. It's been real light relief, particularly over the last 18 months. Set up this podcast during a pandemic. We've got a great following. And it's been absolutely one of the great pleasures of my life to do it. So to interview Mark Clattenburg on the podcast, to have a wonderful sports psychologist like Gary Bloom, to have the world's first FIFA referee as a female, Sonia Denoncourt, and then obviously, she became the first ever head of female referees for FIFA as well. So she's been a true trailblazer, and it's been a wonderful pleasure. All the guests we've had, all the conversation, laughs, the tears we've had, everything has been a real joy. And I hope that we one day will make more episodes and we'll come back together, because it's been a real pleasure. But away from the sort of media side of things we've done, we are really proud that the Third Team is a business champion of Newcastle United Foundation, Be a Game Changer program. And the Be a Game Changer program is all around men's mental health, particularly in the northeast of England. There are a lot of workshops that have taken place, obviously, on Zoom over the last 18 months. But prior to that, a lot of them at St James's Park, and Newcastle United Foundation are building a brand new facility about probably half a mile from St James's Park, which is going to be a fantastic thing in the centre of Newcastle, which is going to help so many people. And this is actually a joint project, the Big Game Changer program, with the Foundation of Light. We're hoping that we're going to be doing some more work with the Foundation of Light over the next year. We have to wait and see about that. But that's been a wonderful project as well. Really, obviously passionate about men's mental health in particular, which is what the Be a Game Changer program is about. And yeah, we're just really keen to be as much involved in these projects, such as walking football and man versus fat and things like that. These are great projects for men's mental health, men's physical fitness, but also you have to remember that these are football games, so they need referees. So we have a great involvement in that, and we're really delighted that the Big Game Changer program with Newcastle United Foundation is going from strength to strength, and there's new sessions and workshops and things for men. They've just announced a recent partnership with Andy's Man Club, which is a national sort of men's talking therapy group where they talk together, and things like that are going to be happening at St James's Park. I think it's going to be every Monday at St James's Park for any of you listeners that are based in the Northeast. And so it's going to be really good to see these projects grow. And obviously, last but not least, we've touched on it already. Yes, Ref, what a wonderful business they've got with Ben Williamson and Ollie, who's two fantastic guys that come up with a wonderful concept to help referees get obviously appointments to games and things like that, and clubs to find referees, and not just in football but in multiple sports. And it's going to be a great partnership that we're already seeing flourish, and we're looking forward to seeing their growth as well into different markets and different areas, and just the continual exponential growth which they're seeing is really exciting. So really excited that they are attached to the brand that we have with the Third Team blog. So yeah, really delighted with a lot of the collaborations that we've got, and excited to announce more in the future too.
No, that's fantastic. Obviously, we've got this image here, and I had a little look earlier, and obviously it's yourself and guys know what to do. It's a very intriguing image. I'm sure there's a story behind it.
There is, yeah. I'm on the autistic spectrum, and I'm operating obviously as a referee on the autistic spectrum. And as you can see there from the picture on the screen, I was on Sky Sports on World Autism Day, Friday the 2nd of April it was this year, and was interviewed by Chris Hull, who's a great guy, working with Sky. And it was really good to speak out and to explain things to many people about the challenges that we face as referees on the autistic spectrum, and how we've had to adapt to reach the same levels and achieve the same things as our neurotypical colleagues. So that was really great, I think. And I had a lot of messages from referees on the autistic spectrum who would never publicly be talking about it, because there is such a negative perception and almost a stigma about it, because I think there's a lack of education around what it really means, and the impact that it has on people's lives. So I was delighted to really talk about that and delighted about the feedback that I got from it, and really pleased that now so many people are really keen to talk to me about it. People have obviously got in touch and want to work with me on the back of that, because they know that I have an understanding of autism, and that I can help with a lot of the challenges that they can bring in, and not just through what I've learned, but also through my own experiences that I've had, and give good advice around how we can help people just to make those simple adaptations, because it's not always easy. We know that there's going to be challenges along the way, because the ultimate long and short of it, and the be all and end all of it, is that it regrettably is a disability, and it means that there are certain things that they're not able to do, but it's about how can you overcome and adapt to these challenges. So I was really delighted to be invited on to Sky Sports by Chris, and to have the interview aired on Sky Sports, and to be able to create awareness and to be a voice for referees. And I think it's always nice when your friends say, look, you're on the telly, and tell people. So it's it was a great experience.
I mean, it looks fantastic. It's also incredibly well. I mean, obviously, I imagine it was a massive moment for yourself, but also for many people that did watch and were able to relate to you. And it's not only really brave of you to sort of be able to sort of go on and do that, but also I think it's fantastic that you were able to share yourself and share your experiences and your thoughts of refereeing, and obviously with all the things you do, and the fact that you've impacted so many people positively because of that. And it is really, really good. Tell me a little bit about this on the screen. Our podcast guest, obviously Ref 6. I've listened to their podcast; they're really good as well. Referees World, High Performance Podcast.
Yeah, I've been delighted, and I'm absolutely delighted to be with you today, Holly, to be invited on not just this one, but a number of other podcasts that I've been a guest on. And what I really enjoy about it more than anything is, you've got wonderful guys like Hassan and John, who are doing the Ref 6 podcast, who are really, really great guys with some wonderful experiences. And of course, Hassan's always going to be a popular guy with me because he's a Newcastle United fan like myself. So, we get on well, and it's always great to have a chat with as many different people in refereeing as possible, because like I say, when I was talking about my own career, you can learn so much from being in the company of other officials who see things in a different way and make you question the way you look at things and how you apply the laws of the game and things like that. So it's been a real pleasure for me to go on to Ref 6, and on the particular episode that I was on was with Joe Larkin as well, who obviously does some great work with the Referees Association, and he's a terrific match official as well. So you're just learning so much with the company that you keep on these podcasts, and then obviously being a guest on the Referees World podcast with Richard Mellon, who I on our podcast actually the other week congratulated, but don't mind congratulating again himself and Lee Probert, who are really good friends, really close friends. They are now working together in the Middle East as head of referees across in the United Arab Emirates, and they're doing a great job there. And we wish them all the best with that. But when you're involved with people like that on podcasts and things like that, it's only a great pleasure. And the final one, the Demystifying Mental Toughness. This is a podcast with a guy I work really closely with. He's a mentor of mine, David Charlton. He's a really good guy, and I'm actually going to be the guest on this week's edition of his podcast again. And he does a really great podcast. He's a sports psychologist, is David, and he does a lot of work with a number of different clients, from golf, cricket, rowing, rugby, you name it. He's had guests on from there, and he's really involved in the spectrum of the game, of games, I should say, and of individual sports as well. And I think the psychological insight into these. Yeah, the psychological insight into these podcasts is great. It is really, really good.
It's fantastic to see that you're so heavily involved. Obviously, not only with the podcast that you ran yourself, but obviously with so many others and speaking with people and having positive conversations. So obviously, what's going on here? Increasing my mailing list.
Yeah, well, I want to improve that, and I want to get as many people that we can reach with the Third Team blog. We also want to get as many people signed up to the free online checklist that we have for referees, the referee checklist, which is a free online ebook, which is a free resource for referees, and hopefully in there they'll find a lot of tips and hints. So again, if you go and visit the website, you'll see that the free resources there at the top bar. And it's a really good thing that we have the possibility to offer to referees a free resource that they can basically get involved with, take something from, again, taking things into games. So visit the website, sign up to the mailing list for that, and you'll join the program that we have there with a free checklist. So
it only takes a minute to type in, obviously, www.thethirdteam.co.uk, which of course listed at the bottom of our screen, but it takes a minute to go on, sign up. Obviously it's free anyway, so obviously we're not losing out. And it's only going to benefit, obviously. I mean, I'm going to sign up on the back of this, but I know it's going to benefit many match officials, hopefully nationwide. And as I say, it's a 1 minute process to sign up. Obviously it's not costing anything, and it can really benefit people positively.
Yeah, so what we're really looking at now with the development of the third team is we're looking at the possibility to offer the courses to referees, and we're really excited to be able to offer online programs to referees that they can work through specifically at their own pace, and we're looking forward to being able to offer that later on this year. So that's what we have really in the development of that.
And obviously, I don't know what the Kartra is.
Yeah, Kartra, it's a process that we use, and one of the things that I wanted to maybe talk about a little bit as well is the fact that, we're absolutely delighted that we're now able to use this service to offer what I've just spoken about in terms of an online program that referees can work through at their own pace, and this is what we're using to launch this process. So yeah, we're really excited at that, and obviously very thankful as well to some of the funders as well that have allowed us to develop the business in a grassroots Northeast level with small businesses in the Northeast PNE group, which I'm absolutely delighted to be a member of their Pioneers program with the third team.
And again, obviously, as a referee myself and as referees, can we find all of this information on the third team website?
We can, yeah. It's absolutely, it's all there. There's a bar at the top which will lead you to the free resources, and other resources will be updated as and when we launch them. But if you follow our social channels, you'll know about when we launch these programs for referees.
Obviously, the professional development as well. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yes, a lot of people ask about what my background is and what qualifies me to do what I do. So I'm a NLP practitioner. I obviously explained at the beginning about being a mental toughness practitioner and a resilience trainer, but I'm also, the basis in this is with being an NLP practitioner, and that helps me understand a lot about the way that people communicate with each other and the way that people work with each other, and it's a lot about the psychology side of the way that people behave ultimately. And my professional development as well in terms of my mental health support and the mental health side of what I deliver is through Mental Health First Aid England, and they are sort of the how would you say, professional body that I'm accredited to.
That's fantastic. And then obviously we've got your contact information on there. What can I do now? Do I email? Do I text? Do I go on the website? How can I contact you at the third team, sort of benefit from what you guys offer?
Yeah, if people want to get involved and get in touch, it's about what we create as many opportunities as possible here with the email, with the telephone, with the website, which has a message box in it and contact page in it. We want to make it as comfortable as we can for referees to get in touch. Some people want to speak over the phone. Some people would prefer to have an email, whatever it might be. Just as many options there for people to make whatever is the most comfortable for them. And then obviously, as I said, we can be engaged with on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and you can subscribe to the YouTube channel where we put all the podcasts are on there, and other things such as the Sky Sports interview, the full interview is on there, and also the interview that was broadcast on Sky Sports. There are a number of other things that are also on there. So it's just a really, really good thing that people have been able to use to engage with our content. So would encourage people to get in touch via the information on the screen. And happy to take any questions as well through that as well.
No, fantastic. And sort of obviously, it's been fantastic speaking with you and learning about the Third Team. And I hope I'm not the only person that's going to have benefited from this conversation. But sort of as a final question from myself, obviously, I do ask this to everyone who I do have on. What would be, and obviously I know that you offer an awful lot of support and guidance, but what would be the one piece of advice or the one sort of offering of support that you would give to a referee? What's the best bit of advice you can give? If you had to condense down all the fantastic work you were doing to one thing.
Yeah. No, it would be to surround yourself with as many of your colleagues as possible, and as many opportunities as possible. And what I mean by that is, when the CPD being offered by the county FA, get involved in it, particularly if it's a face-to-face opportunity, an opportunity to get in a room with your colleagues and be a part of a session, because you are always going to be enhanced by spending time with people, because you may know something, or you will know something that they don't know, but they'll also know something that you don't know. And that's only going to enrich your refereeing career. So take as many opportunities to attend CPD events as you possibly can. Perhaps consider joining your local referees association branch to associate yourself with many colleagues, and try as well, if you want to be promoted, make sure that you try and run the line when you're not going in the middle, because the lines that you do, particularly at a higher standard than your refereeing now, is what's going to teach you the lessons that are going to make you a better referee and help you get to be a promotion worthy candidate at the end of the day.
Fantastic. Well, look, Nev, it's been fantastic speaking with you, learning about the Third Team. Obviously, again, I want to reiterate, because I know how fantastic your stuff is. Obviously, www.thethirdteam.co.uk. Everything's going to be on there anyway. And I'm leaving your contact details on the screen so people can have a look and obviously get in contact if required. But no, thank you very much, Nathan. Obviously, I wish you all the best, obviously, with your own personal refereeing as well as with the Third Team. And I'm really excited to hopefully see you and work with you at future events. But thank you very much.
Brilliant. Thanks very much for having me, Harley. Really appreciate it.